Okie dokie, artichoke. We are in video 3 total in doing this YouTube, but it's the second one in this series of dating and relationships. Um, so first one kind of introductory. Second one, I was showing you guys the past and why it brought me to the here and now in 2024. So it's kind of like my life journey of dating. And now I'm going to bring you into current so you can see what I'm doing right now, and then we can go back and forth in stories and situationships and all that jazz. So I received a text message today because someone reached out to me to see if I was doing well. I wouldn't say that I'm not doing well. I'm saying that I am restructuring myself, and in doing so, I'm being tested. So here's the text, and I'll give you some context and then we'll talk about it. It says, sounds like you're in a season of learning about boundaries. Boundaries with men, boundaries with food and exercise, boundaries with people's expectations, and so on and so forth, which hits. We'll just break all those down. And then they say that their boundaries changed as they learned more and more about who God really wants them to be, which is why I am where I am. They said that they had to set boundaries about how much time I gave to various things such as volunteering, work, hanging out with people, all that jazz. They constantly wore themselves out by doing too much. So you have to set boundaries with people. Investing too much time in people and then people failing you, breaking your heart. So boundaries are tough, and this text said that the Lord is teaching me something in this season. Sometimes that can be a bumpy process, but the fact that I'm open and working towards His goals is step one. So let's break this down, because currently I am struggling, but in a good way, because I know that I am in the season that I need to be. This last week I've been using the word emotional because I just cry at the drop of a hat, or I'm being offended, butt hurt, all the things. So we can go back with my boundaries with alcohol, because I'm a year and 9 months sober. That was my first start, and I don't plan on ever drinking again. I don't crave it, but I do think about it in the sense of conversations that I would have where, like you have a slushy drink. Well, what could I put with that? Like that vodka would look good with that one. Or if I'm eating gummy bears, oh, remember we used to soak vodka in these, or Bacardi rum. So I make snide, off-colored comments all the time, and I think that's me coping with it. Or, it's not a part of my life anymore, but it's still a part of who I was. So maybe I won't do that as often, but I don't do drugs anymore, but I do make the off-color comments about snorting cocaine, hookers, and buttholes. So, your girl used to snort some methamphetamines back in the day and $100 bills, but she don't do that no more, but she does make off-the-wall comments about it. You gotta poke fun at your past, or it's just gonna eat you up. I think that's how I deal and cope with said past and traumas. Once God and my therapist lay it on my heart to not do that anymore, I shall not. So as far as it goes right now, I shall. And those conversations shall be had. So that would be my drugs and alcohol portion of boundary setting, which I feel confident in learning new behaviors instead of saying I conquered it. Learn new behaviors. Boundaries with people and people's expectations of said things. I am better at this because I do say no with the people that I feel comfortable with, because they have learned that I am a introvert. I gain my energy with being alone more so than I do being around people. I have a lot of friends that get energized off of being with people, and that's great for them, not for me. So the other ways that I am learning boundaries is said volunteering, making time with other people, but not too much time, like learning what my just like scheduling it out where I have like a busy day, a down day, a busy day, and a down day. That I'm learning, because I just had a weekend where I did something Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and by Saturday, knowing I had Sunday, so it's not even the physical activity of doing it, it's also the physical and the mental of it. So I'm getting exhausted by even thinking about having to do something on the next day. So taking a day off in the in-between, because even a half a day is not enough for me. My therapist said that you can only control what's in your own yard. And another thing that she said was that most people are so self-centered, they're not even thinking about you, they're thinking about themselves. So, stop thinking that everybody's thinking about you. And if someone has a problem with you, it's their responsibility to come tell you. So those are other areas that I am setting boundaries with people. So that's something current that I am still working on and will always be working on, because people are in your life daily. Just changes with your personal friends, your family. Family's a good one. You don't have to spend every day with them and every holiday with them. If they drain you, then it is unnecessary. You can catch up on Facebook, text, or through someone else that's not as draining, that's in your family. Just because they're family and they're quote unquote blood does not mean that you have to exhaust yourself by hanging out with them. You wouldn't do that with a friend or a coworker. You need to give yourself that grace in family. There, I said it. Okay, so my next one that I'm struggling with is food and exercise. And I say struggling, I'm just learning my body, because I am not in the day-to-day rush of taking my girls to, from, and there. So I'm just sitting in my world now, so I can take the time to adjust and restructure things. So I am pretty active daily, whether it be walking property, walking Marshall, or just walking in general with friends or my girls. I do attempt to work out daily on my lunch break, and so always restructuring and regrouping that. And I'm hyper conscious and aware of my eating. I do not cook. I do and have prioritized purchasing meals. So I use a meal prepping business. No regrets meal prep, baby. That's my besties. Locally, Shreveport Bossier, you should definitely check them out. But it's just easier for me because I don't cook. I don't want to have to buy groceries and think about meals. So meal prepping. I am currently learning that with age, less hormones, and just general DNA and stressors, that I have a problem with bloating and said other things. Just for educational purposes, like I went to the doctor today and we figured out I have IBS, and I'm learning different food groups, which is ironic because my youngest has already been down this path. So I don't know why, being the mom that I wasn't someone who needed to know this. I'm just tired of being irregular, and uncomfortable and bloated. So we are learning different food groups and taking away things and then introducing them back into. That one's a very recent thing for me because I've been struggling with this probably for the last year. After you give up alcohol, you kind of lose all that alcohol weight, and you get super confident in that, and then you get back into day-to-day life. It's kind of like when you quit smoking, you gain all that weight because you don't eat. And now that you're not smoking, you eat all the time. To me, it's similar, so I'm trying to learn that process. Plus, I'm over 40, and once you hit 35-ish, your metabolism stops, so everything kind of slows down. That's exciting for me. And then my new thing is boundaries with men, hence the dating. This one is tough because if you've been on this journey with me at all, you know certain things that are, I just don't know if I'm ready to talk about them, but in general, I have a love-hate relationship with men. No, I love them so much, but the way that I choose to have relationships are very, and I don't even think that it's toxic because I choose them and I choose it. So I'm just trying to do things God's way. Now, let's pause and touch on that subject about choosing God's way. Now, I'm not perfect, and I will not do this journey perfect. You fall and mess up all the time. It's just whether you're choosing to do it on purpose because you have grace, or if you're really trying to not do it, and then you need to learn to give yourself grace. I think that those are like that bob and weave situation. Like, you can't keep snorting cocaine and then wonder why you got a hole in your nose. Or meth and your teeth are rotting out. Like, you just can't keep doing it. So when you keep putting yourself in relationships that are unhealthy for you, and then you are moody, constantly checking your phone, worried about what they're doing, or not even caring, you're just doing it for fun, but you're not being fulfilled mentally, physically, and spiritually with that relationship, situationship, then, I mean, why are you doing it? So I've always been called to be single in a single phase. I have never attempted it. I always thought that I could date. I always thought that I could text. I always thought I could talk to, and I always thought I could have casual sex while doing it. I cannot. That is what God is teaching me in my walk in my life. I'm not telling you what to do or suggest anything other than the fact of what is God convicting you of. It's all of those things. Like, I don't need that in my life right now because I don't know how to set boundaries, because boundaries is the key. And really, I have no emotions with it, and that's what's ridiculous. I mean, that's the cool part. I mean, it's cool to be in a situational shit with me, because at the end of the day, I don't care. I mean, I could have a relationship, a situationship, and then be hanging out with you for weeks, months, freaking years. Okay, let's not do years because of the one human, 15 years. That's still taking its toll on me. I can lie all day long. But the little ones in between, and I could stop talking to you tomorrow and you have never existed to me. Never. That's weird. And then I can see you or hang out with you in the same friend group or see you at Walmart or we go to the same gym and act like, oh, hey, how's it going? And nothing ever happened. I don't even know. Like, that's not okay. So I want to work through those things so that I could have a meaningful relationship with someone that God chooses for me, because I shall not choose. I shall not. So those are the areas in which we are learning how to put boundaries, bumpers in place. Men, food and exercise, and my personal relationship with humans that aren't intimately involved. You know, children, you don't have to hang out with my grown-up children every day, but I do love to, and I adore them so much. So much. They are probably two of my most favorite people, hands down. But learning to do things on my own, being okay with them doing things without me, that's cool things that we're doing right now. And I adore that. I adore that season of our lives. And watching them grow and learn themselves and mature. My besties, I feel like I am getting better at that. You know, whether I have a best friend that lives out of town and not being so jealous of her relationships out of town, or even the ones that are local, and figuring out your season and my season may not be meshing right now, but sometimes they do mesh and intertwine and we hang out all the time, or we don't. I mean, and it's fine because I am self-sufficient, right? And then coworkers and church members, church friends and family. I mean, those are just situational, and I have to learn how to maneuver through them. I don't know. That's all new to me, so we'll figure that out together. I don't know that one. The food and exercise, man, that one is and that's going to be a daily struggle because your girl likes to eat and she loves her cheeseburgers, her sushi, her Andy's frozen custard, and yogurt. So I'm trying to figure out what my body can handle and not attack itself. It makes me so sad. I just don't want to live off of fake bread and water. It's not a happy life. So we'll figure that out. And then make sure I stay active. Make sure I stay active. Yeah. So the food one, I think, is the one I'm going to struggle with the most, is because, I mean, I know this is about dating and relationships, but it's relationship with food. I mean, because food for me is all that I have as far as comfort. And I say that, and that sounds dramatic, like it's all that I have and it's all that I want is food. I love food, and I can't just like give it up. You know what I mean? I can fast, but I don't want to give up food because then I'll just wither away. I do like being thicker than a Snicker, having some junk in my trunk, but I don't want to have unhealthy eating habits, and I don't want to have over eating habits. I want to have that. What is good for Hillary eating? So we're going to pray about that. That's another thing. So been struggling, with just emotional And I brought back my scripture that I learned, the Lord's Prayer. So let's do that one right now. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And we'll dive into that a little later. It's just crazy to me that it's boundaries this season. And I thought I gained boundaries, but maybe it was internal boundaries and now I'm working on external boundaries. Food and exercise, that one's going to be so tough. I think the boundaries with men will be semi-easy. I say that now that I put that out in the world, people are going to be hitting me on my DMs. Just kidding. Oh, just kidding. They already do. So boundaries with men, I'm thinking that I kind of want to go cold turkey. Like no texting, no dating websites, no dates, no situational ships, no married men. If you know, you know. I just try to focus on my relationship with God, like for real, you know. Waking up in the morning and giving him my first time. That was a video I watched, you know, first fruits and all. I do have a like little prayer area that I'm working on taking time out daily. Discipline. That's a word that is coming to my mind. It's discipline. I'm being tested in my discipline in these areas. And then setting boundaries for when I need to maintain the discipline. Does that make sense? So I need to create discipline within myself, and to protect against the discipline, I need to have boundaries in place, little bumpers, so that I don't fall off and be undisciplined. I think that's good. Boundaries with men, discipline. What can I be disciplined and how? Boundaries with my food and exercise. How can I be disciplined in that? How? And then boundaries with people, places, and things, and their expectations. My expectations with them and their expectations of me, and how I can work through that. So that is where I am currently. If you were able to follow the rabbit trail, very happy for you. If not, welcome to my brain. As I was waiting in the doctor's office today, I had my eyes closed and I was breathing and I was thinking of the nothing and then thinking of everything in between, whether it was the song that was playing in the background or just like my breathing and what kind of beats I could put to that. Not like I'm a musician, but it's like, could you just sit still? Just sit still. Calm down, relax. Don't do it. Ding, 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 ding. Like, calm down. You have some ADHD, but it's okay. You can just relax. It's not a big deal. So, moral of the story is we are currently working on boundaries and disciplines in specific areas. Men, exercise, food, and people. And expectations that go along with all said things. I feel good. I feel confident. I feel like we can do this. Drop in the comments below and tell me what areas you're working on. Whether you're working on boundaries or expectations, what are they? And then always remember to go to Amazon and get the Piece by Piece book Also, follow me on all social medias. Bye.